group of ministers. He worked very hard with all of them. Samrat Chaudhary ji worked on the rate rationalization. And not only the chair, but the members of each of these GOM have worked very hard. I'm absolutely appreciative of every one of the ministers. इस समय का मांग को समझ करके समर्थन दिए, इसलिए उन सबको मैं आभार व्यक्त करना चाहिए. There's also, of course, trade facilitation measures and process reform. वो भी इसमें शामिल है, जिससे enhanced verification measures which are aimed at curbing fraud have led to complex documentation, उसको भी simplify करने का, और data analysis वगैरह है. Process reform के ऊपर मैं विस्तार से आपके question answer के समय में जवाब दूंगी. मगर primarily, I'm sure all your interest is to know where is what, which one comes down in rate. उसमें एक just indicate करते हुए I'll stop my input. If Revenue Secretary has anything more he can add. उसके बाद आपके question answer करते हुए हम बाकी सबको cover करेंगे. Common man and middle class items में there is a complete reduction. Reduction from 18 or from 12 to 5%. I list out those items, all of whom have come to 5% from either 18 or from 12. Common man items such as hair oil, toilet soap bars, shampoos, toothbrushes, toothpaste, bicycles, tableware, kitchenware, and other household articles have all come to 5, whether they were in 18 or whether they were 12. Similarly, reduction of GST from 5% to nil. 5 से 0 में जाने वाले items indicate कर रहा हूं. Ultra high temperature milk, the UHT milk, chena or paneer, all the Indian breads will see nil rate. So roti kisi ke upar bhi, chapati or roti or paratha or whatever it is, they all come to nil. Reduction of GST from 12% or from 18% to 5. इसमें food items बहुत सारे हैं. नमकीन से भुजिया है, sauces है, pasta है, instant noodles है, chocolates, coffee, preserved meat, cornflakes, butter, ghee, ये सब 5% में आ रहे. फिर reduction from 28 to 18%. इसमें मिडिल क्लास के एस्पिरेशंस मीट करने वाले बहुत सारी चीज हैं. एयर कंडीशनिंग मशीन्स, TVs which are over 32 inches, all TVs now at 18%. I want to underline, all TVs are now at 18%. Dishwashing machines, small cars, motorcycles equal to or less than 350 cc are all now coming to 18. Agriculture goods such as tractors, agricultural, horticultural and forestry machines for soil preparation or cultivation, harvesting or threshing machines, including straw or fodder balers, grass or hay movers, composting machines, etc., are all coming down from 12 to 5%. Reduction of GST from 12 to 5% on 12 specified biopesticides. Also from 12 to 5 is natural menthol. So किसान के लिए, उनके products के लिए जो वो उपयोग करते हैं, उन सब में it has come down. Again, from 12 to 5, handicrafts and also labor intensive sectors. What are they? Handicrafts, marble, travertine blocks, granite blocks, intermediate leather goods. ये सब 5 में आ रही. Reduction of cement from 28 to 18. क्योंकि घर बनाने में मिडिल क्लास के लिए सीमेंट इतना आवश्यक है, इसीलिए 28 it has come down to 18. Health related items, 33 life saving drugs and medicines, and they all come down from 12 to 0. From 5 to 0 and 3 life-saving drugs and medicines used for treatment of cancer, rare diseases, and other severe chronic diseases. There are several drugs and medicines coming down to 5 from 12. I'm not listing each one of them out. Like that, very many other items, diagnostic kits, reagents, blood glucose monitoring system, all of them are coming to 5%. Similarly, spectacles and goggles are for correcting vision. They are also coming down to 5% from 28. I'm sure all of you are interested in knowing about automotive sector, about which you've been frequently asking us. From 28 to 18% on small cars and motorcycles which are equal to or below 350 cc. Reduction of GST from 28 to 18 on buses, trucks, and ambulances. Uniform rate of 18% on all auto parts, irrespective of the HS code. Three-wheelers from 28 to 18 again. So I move to one very important thing on inversion of correction of inverted duty. The long pending inverted duty structure problem is getting corrected for the man-made textile sector by reducing GST rate on man-made fiber from 18% to 5% and man-made yarn from 12 to 5%. So that will take care of every anomaly that was there in terms of inversion that's getting sorted out. So this actually gives effect to government's objective of the fiber neutral policy. So that's really getting seen in our action today. We are also correcting the inverted duty structure problem in fertilizer sector by reducing GST from 18% to 5% on sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and ammonia, which are very important for the fertilizer sector. Renewable energy is the next. Reduction of GST from 12 to 5% on renewable energy devices, parts for their manufacture, such as biogas plant, windmills, wind-operated electricity generator, waste to energy plants, devices, PV cells, whether or not assembled in modules or made up in panel, solar cookers, solar water heaters, and systems, and so on. Should I stop there and leave you all to ask questions? Just want to highlight the last one, that there is a special rate which is 40%. Actually, almost all goods are between 18 and 5. If there's any change, they only can shuffle between the 18 and 5. There is one special rate which is only for sin and super luxury goods. That special rate of 40% has also been proposed and it's cleared. That will apply only to pan masala, cigarettes, gutka, and other tobacco products such as chewing tobacco, products like zarda, unmanufactured tobacco, and weed. All goods, including aerated waters, containing added sugar or other sweetening matter or flavored, caffeinated beverages, carbonated beverages, or fruit drink, or carbonated beverages with fruit juice and other non-alcoholic beverages, excluding those specified at lower rates, will all be covered under 40%. Mid-size and large cars, motorcycles of engine capacity exceeding 350 cc, aircraft, for example, helicopters and aeroplanes for personal use, distinctly for personal use, yacht and other vessels for pleasure or sports are all under 40%. So I think I have covered most of it. One last point on the RSP. GST will be levied on retail price, which is the RSP, instead of transaction value on pan masala, pan masala, gutka, cigarettes, and other tobacco products such as zarda, scented tobacco, unmanufactured tobacco, and chewing tobacco. Again, one other point which I will conclude with, insurance services from 18% currently will go into 2-3 different categories. I'll say that to you. Exemption of GST on all individual life insurance policies, whether term life, ULIP, or endowment policies, and reinsurance thereof, to make insurance affordable for common man and increase the insurance coverage in the country. Exemption of GST on all individual health insurance policies, including family floater policies and policies for senior citizens, and reinsurance thereof, to make insurance affordable for the common man and increase the insurance coverage in the country. I think I'll leave it there. We'll answer questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we move on to the question
There's
and
one
answer
more. Sorry, I'm getting tempted to say one last thing. There are 4 points which I want you all to take into consideration. All this will be effective 22nd September 2025, which is the first day of Navaratri. Changes in GST rates of all goods except for pan masala, gutka, cigarettes, chewing tobacco, products like zarda, unmanufactured tobacco, BD, will be implemented with effect from 22nd September 25. Except for these, for all items, the new rates will come into effect from 22nd September. I hope I'm clear on that. But pan masala, gutka, cigarettes, chewing tobacco products like zarda, unmanufactured tobacco, and BD will continue at the existing rates of GST and compensation cess where applicable, till the loan and interest payment obligations under the compensation cess account are completely discharged. I hope I'm clear. Every item will come under the new rate from 22nd September, except for these tobacco related products, which will continue on the 28% and compensation cess where applicable, till such a time we completely repay the loan. Based on this decision of this set of tobacco products continuing till some time, based on that decision, the Union Finance Minister and the Chairperson of the GST Council is actually authorized to decide on the actual date of transition for these tobacco related products as soon as the loan and interest is cleared. Yeah, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Before we start the question answer session, please introduce yourself before asking the question. Also speak into the mic because this is being live streamed, and also raise the placard. We will take the questions one by one. So number 9.
This is Priyansh from Money Control. I wanted to ask what is the possible revenue loss that has been estimated due to the rate cuts? And secondly, for the states, has there been any discussion on how the revenue will be compensated to them?
As Finance Minister explained, the objective of this proposal, which is the GST rate structure rationalization, accompanied with process reforms. So the first request I will have is to have the appreciation of the proposal in the manner in which it has been prepared, in order to not distract ourselves with issues which will be an outcome of this process, but the core principle of this exercise needs to be appreciated in totality. We have estimated a figure we expect that the net fiscal implication, we would not call it as a revenue loss because that doesn't seem to be the correct terminology. But net revenue implication of this proposal is expected, we have estimated it to be around 48,000 crores. This is on the consumption base of 23-24 because that is where we had all the segregated data. What I would also request is to have to appreciate this exercise better. It's important to also understand why looking at a particular number of revenue implication and highlighting it in a manner which is not proper may not present the correct picture of this exercise. The reason being, one, typically the rate rationalization exercise would result in buoyancy effects. We do expect, as mathematically one may calculate based on consumption of 23-24, but economically that is not how outcomes will evolve. And we do expect buoyancy to play a major role because of this rate rationalization exercise in enhancing the revenue. In addition, there is also an effect on the consumer behavior. What he spends on and how much does get influenced by price, which is going to be expected to get positively influenced by this exercise. We also expect compliance to improve due to this exercise. Madam explained to you how rates which were at different levels where classification issues would be rampant, like sectors like food or transport, auto parts, etc. Once rationalized, it will improve and enhance compliance because many of these disputes would not necessarily result in revenues, but would linger on and would end up having a lot of resources, both of the business and the department, in struggling to settle those disputes. So compliance would also have a very positive effect on the revenue generation. Finally, there is a technicality that when the rates change, the rate of the value chain itself changes, and tax, you know, is paid through ITC and cash, and the actual implication of that will have to be worked out. I would just like to highlight a number from before just to explain how these changes do play out. For example, when earlier the average rates were around 15.5 in the earlier part of the GST, the compliance in the form of GST TP was around 85 to 90%. Now the compliance has improved to almost 97% as the rates have come down. We do expect these positive changes will have and we believe that in this entire exercise will be fiscally sustainable both for center as well as the states.
54.
Yeah. Good evening, ma'am. Shishir from Into Business Line. My question is about the anti-profiteering because now so much rate reduction is there and we do not have the anti-profiteering mechanism. As of now, we understand that GST 80 can take only the pending cases and the cases directed by the courts. So what kind of mechanism we are going to have? And the second question is about the clarification on the revenue implication that 48,000 crore is on annualized basis or just for the FY26?
On the first question of anti-profiteering, just to give you a couple of statistics, that since inception, under the arrangement of anti-profiteering, which is no longer in place now, only around 704 cases were registered with the authority, and 60% of the cases were initiated within the first 3 to 4 years of implementation. And the total profiteering amount that was alleged was around 4,362 crores in these 704 cases. So we expect that last time too, these data shows that industry has largely passed on the benefits of rate cut. At that time too, the industry made public statements and committed, and you would have heard and you would have seen that a lot of industries have already come out and have committed that they will be transmitting this benefits too. Administratively, both at the state level as well as at the CBIC level, we will definitely be engaging with the industry and seeing to it that the benefits to the consumer as is planned as per the exercise is going to be transmitted to the consumers. And we do expect that since it is to the benefit of the businesses too, it is going to happen eventually. On the issue of the revenue loss, I think the question, probably you didn't appreciate the point I made the last time. It is difficult to look at these issues mathematically. So I would rather, we have done a data based on a historical number, that is 23-24 consumption. How will 26 happen will obviously depend on how consumption evolves. And we, as I said, are confident that this is